the read alouds, day 51, I believe. So we're going to do our read alouds. Welcome back to Mayhem Family Fun. So we're going to do our daily news before we start anything. So personal news, I got my flu shot 2 days ago. Yay. On this arm. And it's been feeling better. So, very nice. And another thing is Mayhem news. We have a giveaway that we're doing at a certain amount of subscribers. I don't know why. Am I the only one that her eyes water up for no reason? Like, is that me or just like, is that me or does it happen to you guys? Because it's literally happened right now. Okay. Mayhem Family Fun News. We're doing a giveaway at a certain amount of subscribers, so go check that out in the description. And in the description will be also my channel, so you guys can go check that out. And oh yeah, my channel news. I am so close to 50 subscribers, and I'm planning on around 50 subscribers, or like exactly at 50 subscribers, I don't really know, but I want to make a gaming channel all about Fortnite, so you guys can go check that out. I will tell you when, you know, my channel's made and stuff, videos are posted and stuff, so you guys can go check that out. And I have pretty good content on there, because my videos get pretty popular. Like one of them, Prom Date, has 4K views. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Go look at my channel. Okay, let's do our read alouds, day 51, I believe. So we're gonna do. We have our Pokemon series, our Diamond Whippy Kid nursery collection, and our beautiful Technology's Impact. Let's read. So last time we read about the trailer of the poem, and a little bit about Carl Sandburg and his past, and that his jobs that he liked to do. Like, he was an author and stuff, so you guys can go check that out. Well, no, he was a poet, same thing. But now we're going to read the actual story, Skyscrapers by Carl Sandburg. So there's a picture actually on the front page, so let's look. This postcard from 1928 shows Chicago's Wacker Drive and Lake Michigan in the background. So this is a postcard picture. Looks very nice. I like it. Skyscraper by Carl Sandburg. By the day, the skyscraper looms in the smoke and sun and has a soul. Prairie and valley streets of the city pour people into it. And they mingle among its 20 floors and are poured out again back into the streets, prairies, and valleys. It is the men and women, boys and girls, so poured in and out all day that give me the building of souls, of dreams, and thoughts and memories. Dumped in the sea or fixed in a desert, who would care for the building or speak its name or ask a policeman the way to it? Elevators slide on their cables, and tubes catch letters and particles, and iron pipes carry gas and water and sewage out. Wire climb with secrets, carry light and carry words, and tell terrors of prophets' love, curses of men and grappling plans of business and questions of women and plots of love. Hands of clocks turn the noon hours, and each floor empties its men and women who go away and eat and come back to work. Towards the end of the afternoon, all the work slackens and all jobs go slower as the people feel day closing on them. One by one, the floors are emptied. The uniformed elevator men are gone. Pails clang. Scrubbers work, talking in foreign tongues. Broom and water and mop clean from the floors, human dust and spit, and machine grime of the day. Spelled in electric fire on the roof that are words telling miles of houses and people where to buy a thing for money. The sign speaks till midnight. Darkness on the hallways, voice echo. Silence holds. Watchmen walk slow from floor to floor and try the doors. Revolvers blug from their hip pockets. Steel safes stand in the corners. Money is stacked in them. A young watchman leans out the window and sees the lights of the barges putting their way across the harbor. Nets of red and white lanterns in the railroad yard. In a span of gloom splashed with light, with lines of white and blurs of crosses, and clusters all over the sleeping city. By night, the skyscraper looms in the smoke, and the star has a soul. So this is Chicago's Tribune Tower at night, 1941. So that is so beautiful. Like, tell me that does not look beautiful. Like, that looks gorgeous. I love it. So that was pretty good. Like, he went into detail. So that was Skyscraper by Carl Sandburg. So you guys can go... You guys can tell me how you felt in the comments. Like, did you guys like that? I loved it. So the next time... So tomorrow, we're going to read about An Adventure to Remember. Which, it's just like one of these short ones. So you guys can go check that out tomorrow, which will be day 52, I believe. I don't know. I don't keep track of the read aloud dates and stuff. So that was technology's impact. So the next thing we're going to read is our Dive Olympiad. Why are we reading this first? Because we had a short read aloud that time. So you guys can go check that out. So we read about how the park that the community is supposed to clean and about its past. You guys can go check that out. Today's Saturday in the world, which is not Thursday for us. Okay, well, let's read. Saturday. I have no idea what time I woke up this morning because the clock on May's dresser was unplugged. In fact, everything in the house was unplugged, which goes to show that Mom was taking this electronics free things pretty literally. Next thing I noticed that there were a lot of people walking out in the neighborhood, so I guess everyone had to get into the old time spirit. So Greg woke up to this. A lot of people walking up and down the street because in the old days they had nothing to do. They had no phones, TV. They had no phones, no TV, no computers, no electronics and stuff. So what they did was just play outside all day. I was planning on just relaxing and reading comic books on the couch all day, but Dad said I should take advantage of all the foot traffic. He said when he was a kid, he and Glyze opened a lemonade stand and earned enough money to buy themselves a new skateboard. I said I thought a lemonade stand was a great idea. Dad surprised me by handing over $20 in seed money to help me get started. So Dad's giving Gregory $20. I knew I was going to need a business partner, so I called Rolly and told him to come down. I figured we get going by looking up the recipe for lemonade on the internet, but Mom had hidden the power cord to the computer. I was so embarrassed to ask Dad, so me and Rolly decided to wing it. I knew we need lemons for sure, so we rode our bikes down to the convenience store and bought out their whole supply. So they're buying a bunch of lemons, because that's like the main ingredient for lemonade. So, like, imagine lemonade, right? Those tasty, delicious yellow drinks. Chef Kish. But just imagine you have a cup of lemonade. You read the ingredients. No lemonade whatsoever. Like, of course, lemons are the main ingredient. When we got back home, we didn't know the exact number of lemons to put in the pitcher, so we went on the high side just to be safe. So they're plopping all the lemons in there. I think you're just supposed to just squeeze it or something like that. I don't know. I was pretty sure the other ingredient for lemonade besides water is sugar. Yeah, I think that is too. I don't know. We were supposed to use either, but we didn't know how much of that we were supposed to use, so we just eyeballed it. So you don't pour the entire thing, maybe like a little grams of it. I don't know. I don't know how to make lemonade, guys. I thought after that we were pretty much good to go, but when Dad came downstairs, saw what we were doing, and told us we got it all wrong. Dad said that, first of all, the green lemons we bought were actually limes. We had to get rid of those. Oh, that's a scam. He bought limes instead of lemons. Then Then he said to make lemonade, we need to cut the lemons in half and squeeze them into the water, which would have been nice to know at the beginning. So Dad came downstairs and talked to the boys about how to make lemonade and stuff. But Wooly was too scared to cut the lemons because he said he'd make his eyes water. I told him he was getting lemons confused with onions. He wasn't bulging, though, and I knew I had to do something about it or he wouldn't help out. So I dug around the garage until I found a mask Rolly could cover his eyes with. So he found a scuba dive mask. Once Rolly calmed down, we started cutting the lemons, which is a lot harder than I thought it would be. When I sliced into the first lemon, I got a shot of juice right in my eye. Ooh, lemon juice in the eye. Ow! It stung like crazy, and I could barely see. Rolly took a snorkel out of his mouth and started in with the whole, I told you so stuff, but I didn't want to hear it. After I got my vision back, we squeezed all the lemons into the water and set up our stand on the sidewalk. Look at that. Very pretty lemonade stand. A few people stopped by, but it was just to criticize everything we were doing. One lady told us we needed to stir the lemonade to mix the sugar in better, but after we did that, she wouldn't make a purchase. So there's this lady that stopped by, but she didn't buy anything. Another guy who tasted our lemonade complained that it was too sweet. The next people said the same thing, so I dumped out half the pitcher and added more water, but people didn't like where I got it from, so he got it from us. So there's more people at the stand. One guy had a problem with the fact that we were using the same glass for every customer, even though I explained to him that we were rinsing it out after every use. Yeah, but like, you still need soap and stuff to clean the glass and stuff. We got tired of sitting out in the hot sun and decided our lemonade stand would work just as a self-serve business. So we put it out a jar where people could pay for what they drank. But the second you set up an honor system, somebody's got to go and ruin it for everybody. So this guy just took it without paying. We realized we were just gonna have to suck it up, and man the lemonade stand full time. So we got another glass from the kitchen cabinet and headed back outside. I started to notice that people walking up the hill looked a lot dirtier than the people walking down it. So we posted a new pricing policy to make full advantage. So 50 cents a glass when they're running down, and $1 a glass when they're running up the hill, because you would be exhausted and stuff. A couple of people thought our drive was for tips, and they dropped in some loose change. After that, we started pushing the tips because any money we brought in the way was 100% profit. So he got some customers and stuff. I was starting to feel good about the things until a kid named Crederick Cunningham set up his own lemonade stand a few houses down. It was pretty obvious he had help from his parents because his stand made ours look like a joke. So he has those carnival lemonade stands. Where did he get that? His parents helped him. See, this is the problem when you have an original idea. 5 seconds later, you got a million copycats. I'm not professional, though, and I wasn't going to take a little competition personally, so I offered Kendrick $2 to take his lemonade stand down, and he agreed to it. But a minute later, he set up his stand again, this time directly across the street from us. I was getting pretty annoyed because we were running out of lemonade, and I knew Dad wasn't going to give us any more money for ingredients. That's what I realized. If we sold water instead of lemonade, we could save ourselves a lot of hassle. Plus, it was pretty obvious Kendrick was concerned about the lemon market, especially after he put up his new sign. So Hendrick has a lot of customers. But if we were to sell water, it would have to be an extra special to get people to pay for it. So I came up with an awesome sounding name, and I filled Manny's baby pool with water so we wouldn't run out for a while. So they're filling Manny's pool with water. If we were to call this stuff fitness water, we would have to let people know it actually works. So I had to really do some jumping jacks and push-ups in front of our stand. The problem is, Rolly's not in the best shape, so it looked bad for our company. Luckily, a guy who was actually in shape came up the hill right after that. I have to pay him a few bucks if he told everyone that he got it. If he got that way by drinking our NRG fitness water. So there's this guy that came past our water stand. But I guess he had better things to do because he told us he wasn't interested. Fortunately, a guy walking down the hill overheard us. He said he would be happy to endorse our product. So there's this random guy that came up and he said he would do it. Not to be mean or anything, but this guy definitely did not have the look we were after. So to make him go away, I paid $3 to tell him he didn't drink our stuff. I realized we were still competing. I don't know, for beverage dollars with the kids across the street, and that if we were gonna make any real money, we need to make our operation to a whole new market. And I knew just the place, the town park. With a big cleanup going on down there, I've heard there would be a ton of thirsty volunteers. So me and Rolly loaded up a wagon with as much of our product as we could carry and headed down the hill. So they got a whole thing full of water. Halfway to the park, Rolly said he was dehydrated and needed a drink. I didn't want to stop, but he looked like he was going to pass out. So I let him take a bottle and made a note to dock his pay later on. So Rolly's drinking some water. When we got down to the park, it seemed like the whole town was there. Everyone was working really hard and it was pretty hot out. As a bonus, the water fountain was broken, which meant people didn't have any real option for quenching their thirst. So me and Rolly knew we were going to make a killing selling our stuff. So they did a little high five and everyone's like sweating. Unfortunately, Mom spotted us right away and asked what we were up to. I told her we were going to sell our fitness water to anyone who was willing to shell out a few bucks. So Mom's out there. Of course she is. But Mom said it was tacky to profit off a bunch of volunteers who were sacrificing their Saturday to clean up a park. I told everybody who drank the water would be able to volunteer twice as hard, and the whole cleanup would go a lot faster. Quicker, whatever you want to do. While me and Mom were arguing about this, the ladies who were working on the floor bed totally raided our supplies. And before we could do anything about it, they had poured our whole inventory of fitness water into the ground like it was some cheap junk. So I'm trying to water the flowers with the water, but I did a least calculation and figured that was at least $200 in lost profits sweeping into the ground. But those ladies just went right back to their planting like it was no big deal. Still, it wasn't too late for me and Rolly to turn this thing around. We gathered up the empty bottles and headed down to the creek for a refill. Mom stepped in our way. She told me and Rolly she wanted us to help the volunteers with the cleanup and handed us some lawn tools to get started. I explained that we were businessmen and real businessmen don't work for free. Before I was even done talking, Rolly was on his hands and knees planting and gardening. I knew I had to get out of there as quickly as possible or I'd get roped in too. But Mom was one step ahead of me. She said that when I was little, she used to take me to the park every day, and those were her most special memories of two of us. She told me if we didn't clean the park, other moms wouldn't be able to have If we didn't clean the park, other moms wouldn't be able to have the same kinds of precious moments with their kids. So there's little Gregory on the swing set. See, Mom knows exactly how to get to me, and that's the reason I found myself raking leaves for free instead of making a truckload of money. The rake Mom gave me was a piece of junk, though. But when I asked for a new one, she said everyone was doing their best with what they had. It took me a half an hour to scrape together a measly pile of leaves, then a bunch of little kids came tearing through it and undid all my hard work. Whee! So these are just little babies. They don't know any better. Don't ask me why people brought their little kids to the park cleanup because they were no help at all. In fact, they were constantly getting into trouble. At one point, a bunch of them were playing in a pile of fertilizer, and someone had to chase them out of there. So they're in a pile of fertilizer, which I don't think that's good for you. I mean, if it gets in your nose, I don't think that would be good for you. The whole park cleanup effort was totally disorganized. No one was really in charge. It was just a complete chaos. Now they're messing up the park even more. Things got even crazier when a bus pulled into the parking lot and a bunch of teenagers in orange jumpsuits filed out. So a whole bus of teenagers came out. Apparently, these guys were bussed in to serve their punishment for committing crimes like shoplifting and vandalism. I don't know. And if I had to guess, I had to see a few of them were directly responsible for the traffic on the playground equipment. The community service guys were more interested in goofing off than pitching in. And some of the guys, they were doing downright dangerous. So these are like prison guys, and I guess the cop wanted them to have community service, but they said they were just playing around. But right when it seemed like it couldn't get any worse, a bunch of vans rolled into the parking lot, and an entire Girl Scout troop poured out of the vehicles. I don't think they meant business. So these are the Girl Scouts. Within 10 minutes later, they organized everyone at the park cleanup into separate teams with a Girl Scout in charge of each one. So the Girl Scouts are probably going to be jerks to them. My team was responsible for raking leaves in the playground area, and the girl in charge of my group was a brownie. So everyone's sweating. It was a little embarrassing, but to be honest with you, I was happy the Girl Scouts came and whipped everyone into shape. Every time I see the Girl Scouts get involved with a project, I've been impressed. A few months ago, town wanted to build a community garden, but no one could get their act together and the product fizzled out. But then the Girl Scouts swooped in and built the whole thing on a Saturday afternoon. So this is the whole Girl Scout group. Very nice. I'll tell you this, if you get put into a group of my age in charge of something like that, nothing good would come out of it, especially if there were power tools involved. So they're all just messing around and stuff. They're not really helping cleaning and stuff. Even though they were at the town park to work, the Girl Scouts were not going to let an opportunity to do some fundraising pass them by. They set up a stand to sell cookies, and one of their first customers was Mom. So I guess she changed her mind about selling stuff to volunteers. So she's buying some Girl Scout cookies. I was glad the Girl Scout cookies were running the show, but they were working us hard. After an hour of raking, I was worn out and wanted to go home, but it was clear they weren't letting anyone go until the last leaf was bagged. Another person in my group who seemed a little worn out was my homework buddy, Fru. Other people figured out how smart Fru is, and a bunch of grown-ups started bugging him and for stuff they usually get from their phones. Fru, how's the stock market trending? Fru, what's the weather forecast for this weekend? Fru, have any cats done anything amusing today? So Fru's there too. I noticed that every half hour the Girl Scouts rotated from group to group. So during an changing of the guard, I saw my opportunity and took it. So he's running away. I knew exactly where I was heading to. The creek. When I was on the swim team in first grade, Dad used to drop me off at the town pool every day. But the minute he drove away, I'd run down to the creek and catch minnows until the practice was over. So he's in the lake. I always make sure I got back to the pool before Dad came to pick me up, and I jump in at the last second to look like I've been swimming the whole time. So there he's about to go into the water. But once Dad came really early to watch me practice, and I guess I got carried away with catching minnows. So I ended up getting to the pool after Dad, and I got busted. So this is little Gregory memories. Today, I figured I'd just take a quick breather down by the creek and get back to work. But 30 seconds later, after I got there, I heard someone crashing through the bushes. It turned out Fru had seen me take off from the playground, and he followed me. So there's Fru. Fru said he couldn't handle all the pestering from the grown-ups a second longer, and when he saw me leave, he thought I had the right idea. While we were talking, we heard something big coming our way. I thought it might be a bear, but it was pretty sharp to see one of the community service guys. So they thought it was a bear. No, it was just another guy. In fact, I knew this guy. His name was Billy Ronter, and he used to hang out in our basement while Logic's band practice. Oh, my battery. Hold on a sec, guys. I gotta put this on the charger and go get our read aloud, so you guys, I don't want my phone to die. Hold on, guys, I'm gonna get it. Let's hope the light's good over here. Okay. My battery was gonna die, so hold on a sec. Okay. That's all you guys are gonna get, so this is one of Roger's. Tell me how it's gonna go for the rest of the read aloud. So this is one of Roger's friends. A month or so ago, I heard Roger telling one of his friends that Billy got caught stealing a pack of sour gummy worms at a convenience store. Hold on a second, I'm trying to do all the camera here. Okay, there we go. But Billy said he was making a run for it. Oh wait, I wasn't really happy that this guy had followed me to my hiding spot. I told Billy he should go back to the park before we got us all in trouble. But Billy said he was gonna make a run for it, and he was never going back to that community service. I know, guys, the light's really bad. Then Billy started blubbering about how when he was little, his mom bought him a pack of sour gummy worms for him and his brother to share, but his brother wouldn't give him a single worm and ate the whole pack. Okay, you guys can't see anything. Hold on a sec. Turn up my brightness here. Okay. Billy said the only reason he stole from the convenience store was because I finally have a pack of gummy worms all to himself. I was getting really uncomfortable listening to this guy go on, and I was hoping Fru would help me talk some sense into him. But then Fru started his own speech of his own. Fru started talking about how his parents make him get up at 5 o'clock in the morning 6 days a week to study for a geography B, and how he's never got to play laser tag because his parents says it's a waste of time. So Fru's telling about his own little childhood. This was all getting a little too much for me, and I decided I'd rather be raking leaves than listening to these guys tell their stories. So I started heading back to the playground, but all of a sudden that brownie appeared out of nowhere and totally caught me off guard. So he got caught. My instincts kicked in and I ran. Fru and Billy saw me take off and they were right on my heels. But then the brownie was carrying a whistle, and the next thing I knew, the whole Girl Scout troop was on hot pursuit. I started running faster when I realized me and Fruit might get into serious trouble for orbiting a fugitive. I didn't know the Girl Scouts actually had an authority to arrest anyone, but I wasn't going to stick around to find out. So they're taking a run for it. For all I knew, there was something they needed to do and earn one of their badges. Once the chase was on, Billy took the lead, and me and Fru would just followed him. It was pretty obvious he had experience with this kind of thing because he seemed to know what he was doing. So they're jumping over a fence. After a while, we were able to put some distance between ourselves and the Girl Scouts, and we could barely hear the whistle, so we stopped for a minute to catch our breath. We were gasping for air because we were running super fast. Billy said we need our energy to stay ahead of the Girl Scouts. Then he took a few rolls of Thin Mints that were tucked away in his jumpsuit and split them up between us. I was just going to assume he paid for those cookies, because if he didn't, I didn't want to know. After we filed up the cookies, Billy said we should all ditch our clothes, because if they used the dogs to track us, we could throw them off our trail. Then it dawned on me that if this guy couldn't get away with stealing of sour pack of gummy worms, he'd probably be the last person I should be taking advice from this guy. I realized I made a huge mistake and started looking for my way out of the situation. So I told these guys we should split up, saying if we did, we would be harder to catch. But Fru said we should stick together. He said we could travel around the country and have some crazy adventures and even join the circus somewhere along the way. So Fruit has his own ideas. Billy seemed to like that idea too. Then the two of them started arguing over who should get the money for the movie rights to our story if we ever become famous. They started arguing, which is not good because in a bad situation like this, I don't think they should be arguing. I decided to use the opportunity to try to slip away, but when I turned to leave, a group of vans appeared out of nowhere. Oh no. Mom was in the lead van and the Girl Scouts were in the vehicle right behind her. There was a second there when I thought Fruit made a last-ditch attempt to escape. But after all his big talk about the life on the run, he totally fell to pieces. I started to cry. Oh. I thought Mom would be really mad, but she seemed relieved. She wanted to know what I was thinking running away like that. I figured Billy was going down no matter what, and there was no use in all three of us getting in trouble, so I pinned the whole thing on him. That's good. I guess I feel a little bad, but to be fair, stealing the Thin Mints was his idea. I don't know how much community service they're gonna tack on Billy's sentence, but by the time he's done, I'd be planning on attending college halfway across the country. Oh no, so he's driving away. The craziest thing of all was Mom found out us in the first place. When she got the GPS chip for the pig, she got one for me too. So I've been walking around with one of those things attached to my shoelace for the past 2 months without even knowing it. And when I disappeared from the park, Mom used her phone to figure out where I was. So this is the tracker. Now's not the time to complain about Mom being overprotected, though, because if she hadn't come to my rescue, I might have ended up being a traveling circus of Fruit and Billy. But still, so much for going Mom is going electronics free. So the next time we read, we're not going to have enough time to read the other books. So next time we read, it will be October Friday. So I hope you guys enjoyed the read aloud. I'm so sorry we're not able to do our other read alouds, but